Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into Economic Times ETBFSI news portal, where we are going to discuss the budget 2022, and we're going to have the top voices from the BFSI sector. So, in this series of budget 2022 with ETBFSI, we are going to talk about the banking sector first, and I'm going to have somebody who carries not just a banking experience but a great experience from the microfinance segment. And let me welcome Mr. Chandra Shekhar Ghosh, the MD and CEO of Bandhan Bank. Mr. Ghosh, glad to have you for this session.
Thank you. I'm
So,
happy.
to begin with, thank you, sir. To begin with, Mr. Ghosh, I have a couple of questions, but I will start with ECLGS. As everybody is actually kind of rejoicing with the budget because it has boosted the capital expenditure, and whole India Inc. is actually thinking that now the consumption cycle will begin. But considering the extension which they have already offered to ECLGS scheme, which was offered maybe just 2 years back, there is a hope that the mid segment, which is specifically for the SMEs and MSMEs, will get a big boost. They have also thought about the hospitality sectors and other sectors limited to it. What is your reading about this? Do you think that the extension of ECLGS scheme will actually help the micro segment to grow rapidly?
If I say that the MSME is a backbone of Indian economy, and it is a different types of class: micro, small, and medium enterprise. So this the pandemic situation, micro are more impacted and than the medium. So ECLGS are given the government in a last year, which is for this segment people will get the 20% of their outstanding, which is the government will give the guarantee. It can help to get the good liquidity of this the small and medium type of enterprise which are suffering in this time is more. For that region, whatever the extended in this year, it was from actually earlier one will be like to timeline is in March 22. Now it has been extended to March 23 and also allocated 50,000 crores. Especially also given the focus on that the what I say that the tourism and entertainment and this industry is focusing also on that, so that can be helped from that. A small and medium enterprise again will be get the new fuel for their enterprise. And whatever sometimes this type of small are affected, they are also some employee are lost job of this organize this type of enterprise, and they will be revived to come back to the job. That will be also helped to give the good amount of the job of the people with this support. It can very helpful for this industry.
Okay. Uh, but if I ask you specifically now, considering the changes, the challenges the government went through and the changes which they made in today's budget, do you see a growth now in MSME sector? Do you see that the MSMEs, the micro segment, will come to your bank and look for more loans because they are more confident now? Do you see the pickup in the credit growth of this particular sector now because they will feel more confident? Do you see that?
Now, if we see that the budget allocated the capital expenditure, which is the 35% is more from the last year,
Exactly.
it is a very good decision by this budget, which will be helped to expenditure will be go to the roads, ports, airports, railway. That will be helped on that linked of this the small and medium enterprise to supply of this the all this type of construction and real estate that can be helped on that to do it. So it is very helpful this budget in that sense to this large number of multiple impact will become to this the ground level. So it is actually it is helpful. Another point, that the related on this the
Correct.
MSME.
Hmm.
There is another fund has given which is a 2 lakh crore
Okay.
earlier also given, and it has been extended on that, which is called that the credit guarantee scheme for
Hmm.
MSME. So
Correct.
credit guarantee scheme of MSME means the when this the we are providing the credit to this the MSME, they are
Hmm.
fully secured by the government. And that is also helped the confidence of the bankers. And
Hmm.
bank also come forward to lending to this industry, and
Great.
automatically they will be recover from this pandemic situation.
Hmm. Okay. Noted your points, sir, but there are a lot of highlights in the budget. In fact, if you ask in a short term, perhaps there is nothing exclusively for a customer with in terms of tax slabs or something. But if you look at, like finance minister said very clearly, Azadi ka Amrut Mahotsav se leke agle 25 वर्ष tak. So it's a long term strategy where they want to connect the rivers, they want to build a great infrastructure, and that is why 30% capex has been increased to 7 point 50 lakh crores. My question to you is, execution is always a challenge. In last budget, the government announced many policies, national infrastructure pipeline. The divestment plan was huge, but we didn't achieve much out of it. So do you see, that the policies are nice, policies are very ambitious, but when it comes to ground, it takes a really long time to execute. And perhaps that may again, hold back the corporates or the India Inc., in terms of coming forward to invest.
Now, you are one time isn't correct. I also see that whatever the budget have been prepared for capital expenditure, if it is a long term, so it will be take more time to go to reach the hand of this the mass people. So if it is an execute very much immediately, it can be helped multiple impact to the mass people immediately. It's a depend on that the how the details the execution plan have been prepared by the government and accordingly drive it to do it on that.
That's obviously that's a fair point, sir. But what kind of change now do you see in the sectors? Will they feel more confident now in terms of because everybody was waiting for a budget since the third wave was also hitting them. Now, do you see some positivity?
As a banker, I know from my customer point of view, their
Right.
confidence has come when their liquidity ensured by the government or regulators. So
Right.
that is the best way they will get that confidence. They can be run their business because the worst is over. 2 years of pandemic is over. People are now coming back to the business. When
Hmm.
they are thinking to coming back to the business, they have need in a funding. So some people who have been running the enterprise, which enterprise has lost all this the liquidity, they will be like to bigger challenge to return back.
Hmm.
And so that this type of support have been helped to those enterprises. They will be get the confidence and they will be get the new fuel and come back to this the normal very quick on that. So that will be like to think in a confidence from the banker perspective,
Right.
bank's perspective, and the customer perspective. So both the perspective, this confidence have been helped by the government decision.
Okay. Very well said, sir. And it's a very bold and a very important statement that you made here that the worst is over, which is a very important one. The 2 years timeline is over. That feels also give us some vibes, positive vibes. Before I move on to other questions which are related to affordability, affordable housing, and retail, let me again quickly ask you: can we see now the credit growth will be back? Because just now you said the 2 years pandemic is over now. So can we go back to the credit growth that we had envisaged? I'm not saying where we were 2 years back, but that we had envisaged the credit growth. Because when we see about credit growth, I'm not talking specifically about the large corporates. I'm talking more about the mid-sized corporates because that growth matters the most than sometimes the large corporates.
Yes, before the budget, I also saw
Right.
in the ground level the worst is over and people are returned back to this the normal. And this is a final quarter of this financial year.
Yes.
And this quarter always is a credit growth has come highest compared to the other 3 quarters. And what we see the trend is coming on that. So that is the credit growth is coming to normal in
Hmm.
this quarter. So that is the feelings we find, and I hope that the budget will give in that addition confidence to the bank and the customer, so that it will be quick will become to this normal.
Okay. Noted your point, sir. Now let me move your focus to affordable housing. Right. In fact, the banks have been really kind in terms of reducing the rates and offering schemes to the retail segment. In certain cities, because real estate is driven by cities and not typically the the cost per se. In certain cities, there is a huge pickup. But considering the major developments which the budget has actually offered, major incentives which the government has given specifically for this sector, what kind of growth do you see in this sector now? Do you see a big pickup in retail and also affordable housing segment going ahead now?
So these two are always sometimes this type of 2 years pandemic little bit affected more, and they are also recover quick. So that is the trend we find out on that. Why the retail customers, there is a small business, they are depend on that business, and they have not need to return back quick to for their survival. For that region, we find out on that this type of customer who are affordable, or you say the small ticket size of the loan based in the enterprise, they are very quick come back on that. So we saw that they are coming back very good way from the last quarter, and this quarter also you can like to see that they will be like to fast on that.
Okay, noted your point, sir. So there are many other things to which the government has also initiated. Creating digital units specifically in a different locations. They kind of spotted 75 districts. Digital has already picked up well, and banks or the financial companies are the strong in terms of adopting that. How do you think the digital will benefit the kind of separate units which will be created in this district level? The finance minister said today.
No, if we recall on that, the
Yeah,
finance budget have been mentioned also. The
yeah,
more than 100 of districts who are backward districts that
yes.
are covered under this the financial inclusion, and where the people will get the banking services in a good way, and
Hmm.
very good improvement have been seen in the last budget.
Right.
And now it is looking on that India is in gradually people are also going to the digital transaction.
Hmm.
If we see that the our bank is a 88% of total transaction happened by digital.
Hmm.
So it need on that the how specialized of the branch. This is specialized branch, this budget I will say that 75 districts will be like to set up by the commercial bank, and a
Hmm.
specialized branch for digital. Only they will
Hmm.
be provide the digital banking services to the all
Hmm.
customers on those areas. It is a very good milestone have been created. It will be helped to the banking industry. Future will be look on that how the big number of branches can be opened for digital services. You can say that the customer will be go. There is no need of that person in the branch. They will be
Hmm.
automatically withdraw. They can be automatically deposit. They can also transact
Hmm.
the money. Everything they can do by uh, digitally. So this is a
Right.
very good initiative and good encouraged for the bank. I hope that our bank also to join on that, and will be
Hmm.
like making a how this 75 will become to another 175.
Right.
That will be like to future gradually like to come as a India as a digital banking India.
Right. Noted your point, sir.
And this
Sir.
digital banking also help on that to
Yes.
connect with the banking industry of Bharat with India.
Hmm.
And when we say that only one point is needed, how quick we can be educate the customers
Hmm.
about the digital transaction. There's a
Right.
lots of challenge. So that
Hmm.
it will also needed to add on that digital literacy will be start of those branches to
Right.
success of this the digital branches.
Right. No, no, noted your point, sir. In fact, I also want to take your opinion. I know the fine prints are not out yet. I do not know how will it executed, but digital rupee has been trending a lot because the finance minister said that CBDC will be the central bank digital currency will be launched in FY 22-23 itself. In fact, earlier the Reserve Bank governor had also backed the CBDC over cryptocurrency. In fact, RBI was always against cryptocurrency, but they were kind of looking at CBDC, central bank digital currency. So now digital rupee is going to be here. What is your view on that? Do you think this will be another, we may say, what you can say, another feather in the crown like a UPI?
I have the two things in here. First point on that, as of now, India, some people are already doing it, this transaction doing, but it is not legally declared about it, how it can be like to do, and what is the form on that. So in that sense, the always a service are developed by the banking industry or regulators on the basis of people's demand.
Right.
And we see that the people demand on that part.
Right.
So it has been now regulated by the central bank that can be better way. People will be not uh, 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 get some any advantage of fraud. So that can be helped on that digital rupee. And the second question you are asking on that, yes, I also agree on that. We have a need in that the huge this the digital rupee literacy to the large number of people. Otherwise, some of also as a challenge, some people also face as a cyber crime or the fraud.
True.
That will be as a chance of this because our country is a 70% people living in rural, and those people only know the banking transaction, deposit and withdraw. So when this type of the instrument will go to that level, there is a big challenge until they are not educated properly.
Right. So we spoke about the ECLGS and MSME schemes. We spoke about digital. We spoke about the affordable housing. Now, one or two very important points that I want to ask you, and that is actually the integral theme of the budget, is the Atmanirbhar Bharat, which the government has been talking about since last 2 years now. And I don't think anyone else can give me a better perspective here than you, because you're catering to that segment, specifically the micro segment, before even establishing Bandhan as a bank. I would like you to tell us, the the provisions which the government has made under the Atmanirbhar Bharat to take the micro segment next level. What is missing it there? Do you think, because you will be realizing a lot of pain points at one side, the government is ready to finance, but a lot of challenges are still there in terms of clarity. A lot of challenges are still there in terms of the approvals. So, what do you think need to be done, in fact, to boost these micro segments under Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme?
If I say that the yes, the Atmanirbhar, the Bharat will be needed for our country because it's a large number of people. If their small amount of per head income increase, it will be impacted to the total country per capita income, which
Yes.
is very boost on that. So that we have to need to create a livelihood
Hmm.
and income generating activities in the ground level, which is we are, you are correctly say that has started as a microcredit, now as a bank. But we also find out on that the large number of people is a bank now, 1 crore 75 lakhs women borrowers
Hmm.
are developed their enterprises under this the bank, and they are started with a zero, and many of that borrowers are created. There is a 4 5 employment newly with their growth of the business. If I say
Right.
that the every of these customer are created one employment, so that
Hmm.
is happen on that 1 crore 75 lakhs extra employment generated by this the poor family, and it is possible. And so that now they are coming to the stage by stage. One is the zero. Now their income has come to the 10,000. Now it is income has come to the 50,000. What will be happen to the next?
Hmm.
And we are also created some of this the development. Those are graduate from one level to the next level. We are given to different support, not in a group, as an individual MSME type on that. And but newly, I like to mention about it till now. It is
mm,
underway working on that.
mm,
IIM Calcutta
mm,
and World Bank
mm,
and Government of India and Bandhan are
mm,
jointly starting a project
mm.
who are successful entrepreneurs have been developed already in the
Right.
grown from the microcredit. What
Mm,
is the next level we can be like to give the mentoring support
mm,
under this incubator of IIM Calcutta, and they
mm.
can become on that at the next level of the Indian best MSF. So it is now
Yes.
starting on that very soon. It will be done. That. I hope that that is a good initiative taken by the government with the help of all of others. That can be also helped to develop the from grassroots level best entrepreneur, and
Mm,
also will be impacted to the huge employment generation of the country. So I hope that it is needed on that. Some missing on that.
mm.
We are reaching to this level of the people, and
Great.
these people is there is no papers. They do not
Yes.
understand anything of the formal banking credit and this and that.
Mm, mm,
We have
mm.
to take some time to educate them, develop them. It's a very costly matter of, and
Yes.
then gradually they are coming up on that. And
Mm,
I saw that the 90% is a success case has come
mm,
to the to one level to the next level. So
mm,
need on that in the government support. If you say that ECLGS is a help on that,
mm.
of course it can be more it needs some help on that to build up their capacity, skill.
Great.
They
Great.
can be run that enterprise when it is a little bit bigger. And
Mm,
what the next level? I hope that
mm.
there is a skill development investment should be linked with the this type of microcredit customers, and
Great.
they can be also get the benefit from that.
Okay, noted your points. So, what is your outlook here? If I could ask you quickly, maybe I have 2, 3 more minutes. What is your outlook in terms of how long do you think will take for this sector to come into the formal segment? The challenge is also this that a lot of them are in informal segment, not only just a digital education, right? How long do you think will it take for them to become a really Atmanirbhar or to contribute more in Atmanirbhar Bharat segment?
Now, if I see that the my studies say
Mhm.
first 3 years they are not self-reliant.
Great.
After 3 years,
Mhm.
any of these the borrowers or family are
Mhm.
coming as a self-reliant, and
Great.
then they are like to make other, because you see that when I touch this customer, they have a
Mhm.
lot of borrow from the money lenders.
Mhm.
They have been borrow money from the dowry of uh, uh, daughter marriage. They have
Yes.
been also borrow some money for the children education. So
Yes.
they first earn and repay those money and gradually remove. And they have need in a minimum 3 years time on that. So three
Great.
to 4 years time they have need to come up as a break-even point in that sense. And from the fourth year and a half, they are coming in a very good way, surplus and self-reliant way to running their business.
Okay, noted your points. Quick, just two small, very quick questions before I leave you. Considering the changes that we have seen in budget, it makes you confident, no doubt about it. It makes a lot of people, specifically market industry, also confident. But being a banker, does it make you that confident that you will start disbursing freely now?
No, when the banker is decided to the lending to the one of enterprise or person, there is a many of the things will be like to look on that. So yes, this the budget CLGS and CGT MSME have been given the confidence on that one part. We'll be like to we can get that, yes it is. If I say that the affordable housing 48,000 crores have been allocated for the people who are the Pradhan Mantri Yojana, it will be create a very big business opportunities for others. So it
Right.
is, of course, it is in confidence. If you see the government say that 80 lakhs affordable housing will build up, and the
Yes.
land and also the all approval will be like to speedy. That also given the confidence on that the maximum of this investment will become to rural and semi-urban areas. So people
Right.
will be linked on this, will get the job, and their business also like to improve. So all together, as a bank, we have the confidence on that the future growth of the economy.
All right, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have Mr. Ghosh with me who spoke a lot about ECGL scheme, microfinance, and how the budget is going to have a positive impact on all these sectors. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. But don't go away. Just stay here for 2 more minutes because we're going to have another session on insurance at 4:30. After that, a session on NBFC, and then a session with an economist. So we'll have back-to-back sessions. So stay tuned to etbfsi.com. And thank you so much, Mr. Ghosh, for sharing remarkable perspectives here on the budget day. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you to all of you. Namaskar.